me at all. I mean, maybe I don't poop, and maybe I just don't care. I don't really pay attention to what happens.
It was worth it.
Right? I'm never gonna be like, gotta stop eating mozzarella now. Like, no, I'll like I don't poop for 3 days. Bummer, but I ate all that bomb-ass mozzarella.
For real.
Very ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am.
Lisa? Alright, so it's a kind of a question I've been wondering too, like, and it's what I guess what I think would help more people that are asking me questions about like weight loss. Because the most I've lost is like 15 pounds maybe.
Congrats, that's a lot.
When Daisy was pregnant.
Oh, damn, that's
gained the most
hard.
weight. But yeah, what was the point where you were like, all right, I want to lose weight? Like,
Well, I mean, honestly, I never got to that point. I thought I was a bad bitch all around, no matter what. I didn't do it to lose weight. I honestly got to the point where I was so unhealthy that I was constipated. After having Olivia, actually, I was probably constipated for damn near a month. And I had to go to a specialist because I got hemorrhoids. So I went to a specialist and I told her, I was like, I want surgery, like I want them done. Like I couldn't sit down for 5 minutes. I couldn't pee without like it bothering me. Yeah, it hurts very bad. So she told me surgery was the last thing I wanted. She explained it to me. It was just awful. So she told me to just change my lifestyle when it came to my eating habits, drinking water, and intaking fiber. And in my head, I'm just like, this bitch just wants me to lose weight. I was like, and that's not happening. So I did. I went and I bought all these like over-the-counter fibers and products, and everything was honestly disgusting and nothing worked. So that's when I got introduced to Herbalife. And I only began to take it just to try to go to the bathroom. As I began to take, obviously, healthier products, it helped me go to the bathroom. And even in the first week, I dropped 7 pounds. The first 6 months was 50 pounds. The first year and a half was 120 pounds. And that's honestly why I did it. It wasn't to try to get healthy. It wasn't to try to like get skinny. It was just to take a fucking shit. And that shit fucking worked. So, as I started seeing the weight go down, honestly, I just kept doing it. I kept changing little things by little things. In the beginning, I didn't know shit. I know like your basics, like, okay, no white bread, it's wheat bread. You know, no frying, put it in the oven. You know, like the gay shit like that. But honestly, in the beginning, I didn't know anything. But just changing those little things went a long way. You know, because I didn't drink water before. I didn't eat vegetables before. Because I never cared to be healthy. You know, I was good and I was me, and that was enough. So.
How do you feel now? Like, obviously, you eat healthier.
A lot healthier. I mean, I still eat bad. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be realistic. We live in a very temptatious, or how do you say it?
Yeah, tempting world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I have kids. But I try to limit myself. So I try to eat very healthy all the time. But if we do treat ourselves once a week, and I'll eat then anything, whether it's hamburger and fries, whether it's a pizza, sushi, churros, you know.
Right here?
Right though, you see where I live between fucking diabetes and high cholesterol. So, I try to live a realistic life, and you have to try to find balance. I feel like, and it's hard. It was hard for me for a long time because I'm an extremist. It's either I'm all in or all out, you know. So coming from being addicted to food, I had to do an extremist and do the meal replacement extreme. So it's like I was cutting off all food except one meal a day, which was lunch, but then I was supplementing myself. But I think that it's very important to find a balance in life, and it's not about not eating everything, it's about learning how much of it to eat. So like I tell Marisa all the time, like when I was little, I remember, well, first off, I was raised in El Rancho. So there was no McDonald's, there was no pizza, there wasn't any of that, you know? And then coming here, it was like, I got introduced to those things, and they were awesome, but it was like, it was a very special occasion. And in the Hispanic culture, most of the time that was on Sundays. If you went to church, you got to eat something out, right?
Domingos, yeah.
So it was like something that was rare. Now it's become a very constant thing. People go to McDonald's 2-3 times a day sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Which honestly, like, that's cool and all, but like so much of it is not good. So it's not about not eating something, it's about just figuring out how much of it you can eat.
I think like well, let's go here. What was your like cheat meal when you were not really eating healthy? What did you go to a lot? And what's your cheat meal now?
So when I first started this, I was, I guess you can say, quote unquote, married. So back then there was a lot of home cooked meals, a lot of carne con chile and tacos, frijoles, like all of that. Which honestly, to some people, that's like a normal thing, but to me it wasn't. So that was like it was like more like overeating the normal things for me. That was considered a cheat meal. Now it's not. I don't really cook Mexican food that much. We have meal preps all week here, but for now it's like I let the kids pick whatever they want to eat on Friday night. We'll eat that, whether it's pizza, burgers, anything. And they're not so much like McDonald's. They like their high quality meats. Yeah, they love sushi.
The
like
USDA?
it's no, so
Garage burgers, yeah, like they want that good stuff.
That good
They're just
shit,
like,
yeah.
we're not dollar menu kids, thanks though.
Yeah, no, right. Good. Thanks for trying. Yeah, so, but yeah.
What is some advice you would give somebody that, let's say, is trying to lose weight, or eat better, I should say, and not going to the extreme of meal prepping? Because like a lot of people, they'll ask me, how do I eat better? And I was like, well, what are you eating now?
Right.
And I'll say, if you really want to help, log everything for me for a week or two.
Yeah.
I'll look at it, and then if that's not realistic, send me a picture of everything you eat every day. I'll log it for you.
Yeah.
It just happened like 3 weeks ago, maybe 4, and it's all the time, and they fall off after like maybe 5 pictures.
Yes.
Which is not even a day or two.
I tried the same exact thing. Every time I get a new client, they come in and I say, I need you to take a picture of everything you put in your mouth and send it to me. And I said, I'm not judging you. I'm not here to tell you anything. Be real, because you're not cheating me, you're cheating yourself at the end of the day. I said, because to me, going through everything and learning everything on my own, it was very, very hard. Like I said, I came from having an addiction, so I had to be like super extremist to where I had to like not eat food at all. So I think it's just finding balance. But first of all, I start people off, and that's what my meal preps are based off of. It's more portion control rather than being super precise of what it is that your body, you need to eat 3 ounces of this or this not. So no, my meals are honestly just portion control. I think that if people change a little bit at a time, it's gonna go a long way. Anything that you do, any little changing, you know that it's gonna work for you.
Yeah.
Then you hit a plateau, and then obviously you start changing things. But I think that just finding portion control and in food, first of all, is going to go a long way. Then after that, you do have to get into meal prepping and being a little more meticulous about what it is you're eating. But again, I tell people all the time, you have to think very basic when it comes to meal prepping. Meal prepping is supposed to be easy. Once people start getting into these fancy, healthy meals and making it complicated, that's where people get overwhelmed and then just quit.
Yeah.
So I think that just honestly starting off with portion control and kind of just lowering doses. If you eat 5 tortillas, start eating 4 this week, and then the week after that down to 3. Things like that. We have to take into consideration that food is also a drug. We are addicted. Whether we like to admit it or not, we're addicted. And I don't want people to be just cold turkeying the shit either, you know. So I started taking things out little by little. So when they do send me those pictures for the first 2 weeks, then we start making changes and saying, you know, this is okay, but have less of it, you know what I'm saying? Or switch it to this time of the day.
Yeah.
Just things like that.
Okay, so let's say where you're at now, I guess where I'm at, we kind of have things under control as far as our workouts, what we eat and stuff like that. What's the best advice you can give somebody who's just starting out, maybe doesn't want to, or doesn't feel comfortable asking, let's say you or me or anybody else at the gym, questions about workouts and stuff? What's the best advice you can give to somebody that's just completely starting off? They're scrolling on social media, they're getting all this fitspo, but they don't know what to take. What's that first step? So, for example, what I tell people is hire a trainer for a month, join some group fitness for a month. You'll learn the basics. They're gonna know you're new. They'll be able to work with your movements if you can't squat, stuff like that.
Right.
you'll get those basics. But let's say they're scared to sign up for a trainer for a month. They're scared to join a group class because they're fresh. What's your best advice?
Honestly, I can sit here and say research, research, and research. What works for one person doesn't work for everybody. But any little change in the beginning, like I said, is gonna help you. It's gonna change you. It's gonna take you somewhere. But I mean, there is no real way. Like you said, find a trainer, learn the basics. Don't be scared. I think that a lot of people are intimidated to. I don't think it's about asking for help. I think it's because people don't want to feel that hurt. They know this shit hurts and it's painful and it fucking sucks at times. But I think that that's what backs people up a lot, is that they're scared to hurt. And I tell people all the time, we put up with people's shit. We allow people to hurt us all the fucking time with no positive outlook, no positive outcome. Why can't you put yourself through something that's going to make you feel great, that's going to make you stronger, it's going to make you better? And that's where I don't understand. But I think that honestly is just, there is no way around it. There is no sugarcoating the shit. If you're really wanting to make a change, you're going to do it. You're going to do what you need to do. You're going to sack it up and you're just going to be like, you know what, help me. Ask for help. I think that just coming from where I came from and not having anybody help me, I tell people all the time, no question is a stupid fucking question. I didn't know anything, you know? And now knowing everything, it's like, I wish I could go back and I'm like, I could have done this shit in half of the time. You know what I'm saying? So I think honestly, ask for help. If not, educate yourself, research, try to make changes, and figure out what works for you. Honestly, sometimes it's not weightlifting. Some people like to run. Some people, you know, do yoga, Pilates, cycle, anything that you like. I think, most importantly, I think that you have to be in a very happy place mentally. If we go into something thinking negatively or not liking it or already fucking complaining about it, it's not going to work for you. I think that our body feels our energy and anything, and it's just like it's either going to work for us or work against us.
Yeah. How do you deal with people that like just have excuses, like crazy excuses about why they're not doing this and why they're not doing that? And I guess we could go into life about that, but let's stick to the fitness.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one thing I didn't like when I was a trainer and when I was coaching CrossFit, is there was always an excuse for this, always that. And the way I think about it is someone somewhere is worse off than you are, and they're dealing with the situation. So I don't know.
You guys have something to say?
No. I mean, I'm waiting for you to talk shit, so it's cool.
No, honestly.
No, it's totally cool. I deserve it though. Like that would be it.
Oh,
like,
I just started something here?
No.
Self-awareness is key.
Yeah. No, honestly, I haven't really I really haven't experienced much of that, and I can't complain. I think that once somebody mentally wants to start kind of like complaining and stuff, they know, I tell them from the beginning, I don't bullshit. You put your effort into this, I'm going to give you more than what you're paying for. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like most of that kind of replays in their head. And I'm very honest with people at the beginning. I'm not here for your money. So if I feel like you're not putting your effort in, I'm not going to train you anymore.
Oh, yeah, done that.
And for real, and honestly, it's not even me trying to be mean. It's not any of that. But I think that sometimes I see people's potential more than they see it in themselves, and it makes me very fucking mad that they're just gonna let it go to waste.
Yeah.
So I really don't give people the time to really like think about something twice. I feel like honestly, I've been very blessed with people that I'm working with. A lot of them actually motivate me sometimes to like get my ass up and get in there. And as much as I want to call off and things like that, it's kind of nice knowing that people are like, they're on fire right now, you know, especially with everything going on.
Yeah.
People are really, really motivated to get healthier, which is really nice. So in that aspect, I can't really complain.
Do you think? All right, let's go back to the excuses part. No,
he's like, no. There was definitely something
You guys
here.
definitely talked mental shit, so let's discuss those like Olympics.
So I won't go there, but let's go there. So do you think that it's all in somebody's like time frame? Like they might not be ready to lose weight now. It might be down the road. Like, do you think they have to mentally be there to start training with somebody, to start eating healthy? Because that's just what I feel like. Okay, maybe they know they have to lose weight. The doctor's telling them maybe.
Right.
And mentally, they're just not ready. Meaning, whatever they have going on.
Right. It's a lot.
And then I guess it goes back to the social media stuff. Is they're seeing all this stuff on social media. If they started right now, they'd be doing it like to post stuff.
Right, to fit in right now.
Yeah. And then down the road, they're going to gain the weight back. But do you think it's in somebody's, like, maybe they're just not ready right now. It's going to happen. They talk about it enough. They're making excuses about it enough now. It'll happen down the road, but do you think somebody has to be ready, like in that mind frame?
I don't know about being ready per se, because they say that you have to be ready to have kids, right? And are we ever really ready for that shit? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? But do I think that you have to have a want or a need? I didn't really care to lose weight, so mentally I wasn't ready. So, but I had a need. It wasn't so much that I needed to lose weight. I had to change my way of living. And sometimes even that just helps. I don't know. I think it plays different person by person.
I guess I'm trying to relate it to not so much weed, but more alcohol, drugs, like hard drugs. When somebody's using, everyone could tell them, you need to stop. This is bad for you.
Right.
You're going downhill.
Right.
They're not going to be ready to do that until they, in themselves, are ready.
Want, right.
Yeah. Until they want to. So
it's hard. It is. It's a debate that we can have forever. It just depends person by person. And then also I have certain people that are like, they've lost the weight and all that, and now they want to tone and tighten up, but mentally they're not ready to level up. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like mentally there's levels to this shit.
Yeah.
It's like first it's this, then it's this, and I tell people, I try to help people get past those levels mentally, but that shit is hard sometimes too. And I tell them, until you start thinking differently, your body's not going to change with you, even though it already has changed to a certain point. I said, but growth happens in so many fucking ways, you know. So I don't know if I'm answering your question correctly. I don't know if there is or isn't.
I guess
I dumped it. 180, but I did it because I wanted to.
Right.
But every person is different.
So she changed dramatically.
did it take you a while? Like
No, from one day to the next, like cold turkey.
It was literally one day I was drinking a ton with the people. You take on the traits of the people you surround yourself with. And I had surrounded myself with a lot of people who were binge drinking and closet alcoholics and putting down like bottles of wine a night. And I didn't like it. That wasn't who I wanted to be. And I started hanging out with her and one of our other friends, and I decided that I didn't have to stay in a lifestyle that I wasn't comfortable in, that wasn't making me feel good. So I started working out with her in the mornings. And I want to say we worked out for like 2-3 weeks before I actually signed up for meal preps in any way.
And all that.
But I stopped drinking. Yeah. I had friends yelling at me like at dinner with their parents, like, she wants a beer, and I was like, no, I'll take a water. She was like, no, you're having a beer, and I'm just like, I really just want water. So I think that's a little bit different. I think alcohol is substantially different than weed. I think I can work out stoned as much as I want.
Oh, people
totally
used to do
fine.
Like, when I worked here, I won't say the name of the gym, but right here down the street, people would come all the time. I check them in, and they smell.
But I think that we've put a lot of evil on weed that should alcohol's a depressant, and I don't think a lot of people take that in. So I was feeling a lot of that. I was also feeling a lot of like the misery and sadness of the people that I had surrounded myself with.
Because it was just constant drinking.
Yeah, like constantly, like Sunday through Saturday. Like we'd work and then we'd go out for like a beer, but it was never a beer.
To start.
Right. Yeah. So... And I did. I just stopped. And she actually, I think when it really hit me was probably about like a month or two after we started training together. She told me that she was surprised I didn't go through withdrawals. And I didn't. But when I thought about it, I was overall really surprised too. So I think she's totally right. I think it varies by person. I think that, like, because I had her and I was surrounded by other people that were also living healthier lifestyles at that point, it was easier for me. I didn't have to say no to things. I didn't feel pressured to, like, go have a beer or, like, go to a bar when I didn't want to. It was just like, no, I'm good. I'm just going to hang out here and buy honeycomb because the girls want to eat it, like literal honeycomb because they want to try it.
You can buy that?
Yeah. Whole Foods. But yeah, so I think she's totally right. I think every person is different. But I honestly would not have 180'd my life without her presence.
Nice.
And quarantine for sure fucked me up. But at the same time, like everybody copes in their own ways. But I stress ate, but I did not turn back to alcohol. I did not start drinking again. I mean, every Friday, my team would do, like, a check-in call, and I'd have, like, a Mike's Hard or, like, a Bud Light just to be on the street.
Yeah, but you're not, like, going hard.
Yeah, I wasn't drinking every day. I made sure... We actually talked about it throughout shelter in place. I was like, I cannot start drinking again. Yeah. I was like, I don't want that because I don't know if it'd be as easy for me to stop doing it a second time around. Because it was like I gave her money and I was like, well, I've invested, so now I have to do it.
We literally booked for a year.
She literally books. I still get the notifications. She has me booked until like 2021. So
she's mine.
I was just like, what are you doing? And she's like, we're gonna be here a while. So I think she's totally right. I think everyone's different, and I think what makes her special is that she knows everyone's different. Yeah. Nobody walks into Stephanie's gym and feels like they're getting treated like somebody else that she works with. And I think that's really important. I think that's what makes her special. And I don't think she gives herself the credit, so I'll give it to her right now, but I don't have a mic, so it barely counts. Yell
at me.
So I think that that's important for people to know. Stephanie doesn't look at someone and go, okay, this meal plan is going to work for person A through F. No, she sits down, she gets to know people, she learns about you. Like, I never felt the need to hide what I was eating during shelter in place because I didn't see them for 2.5 months. Yeah. And I never, like, she would drop stuff off for me sometimes, or, like, I tell her, like, oh, I have this craving, and I, like, don't know what to eat instead. And so she'd bring stuff over. She, like, brought a plant once with, like, some pecans, and I was like, this is literally exactly what I need. That plant's dead.
She talked to it while it was alive, so it was good. It served its purpose.
How long did it last now?
Oh, like, probably until, like, June. She gave it to me in, like, April. But yeah, I think that's something that you yourself don't give yourself enough credit for. I think that even without trying, Stephanie influences the people around her. And that's shown by, like, her kids and her clients' kids that she now works with, too. So I think that, like, it's each one. Each one, every single person is different, and Stephanie knows that. And I think that's what... I mean, I've worked with personal trainers before Stephanie. Like, I've definitely tried that before. I tried group classes. It was different. It was 100% different. Yeah. Even in, like, a gym as big as LA Fitness, she has this way of creating an environment where her clients know that they're not judged, where if somebody does, she'll kick their ass, and you're safe. You feel safe being in that beginner spot with Stephanie, and I think that's what makes her so different. And the whole her own gym is just, like, an excellent perk.
Yeah. I posted about that earlier, about hiring a trainer or going to a class, and I posted in there purposely, you got a personalized, I put something about personalized approach with the trainer. Yeah. Which I'm glad you just mentioned it. What would be your advice to somebody that's completely overwhelmed? They know that they could Google a workout plan, a meal plan, this and this. They're just not mentally there to do it on their own.
Which is a lot of us, honestly. Yeah. Information has always been there. We just don't utilize it, which makes sense, honestly. And I talk about this all the time. I say that I'm dumb. And the reason why I say that is because I can sit here and I can read an entire book. Ask me what I read about at the end. I read words. To me, it's about show me how to do something one time and I got it 100 times after that. So I think that sometimes people just work better by having somebody explain something to them rather than going and just reading it off. Yeah. Sometimes what some people think is common sense is honestly not for everybody. And I've had to learn that because I always bashed myself for not being able to learn the way other people learn. And I thought that there was something wrong with me for a long time, but there really isn't. And there's no need to get overwhelmed, you know. Take things calm, look for help. Honestly, I talk about it all the time. Ask me, ask me, ask me, ask me. I don't care, you know, who you are, where you're from. Just ask. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are willing to help. I honestly think about this all the time. I had a client who came in and asked for help. And I knew she wasn't going to get anywhere physically, but I knew that this person was in such a bad place mentally and at home, just in general, that when she asked me for help, that there was no way I could turn her down. I always think of, you know, my 600-pound life. There was a man on there, and he actually passed away. And he talked on the show about how he asked for help so many times and nobody helped him. And he died. He died on his bed, not being able to get up anymore. And I always go back to that. I always go back to like me starting off and not knowing anything, you know. I never looked for help. Not because I was nervous or intimidated. I just had a big ass ego and I didn't want anybody to know that I was attempting to lose weight. I was embarrassed of then feeling what it was to start losing weight and then start realizing how bad I had let myself get. How unhealthy, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like I had no respect for life. I had no respect for anybody. Could be your dying grandmother. If she looked at me the wrong way, like I was flipping her over. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just bad. And when the weight started coming off, like everything started like feeling better. I started seeing things differently, feeling different about people and life and everything in general. So I don't know. It's just honestly, this can be overwhelming. Life in general can be overwhelming. There's no cure for overwhelmness, for anxiety, for any of that. It's just getting yourself in a better and healthier place where you are able to face those things in a different way.
Yeah, like the mental game, I'm super like anxious all the time. That's kind of why I didn't want to be sitting down. I don't know if you noticed, but I was playing with your dog this whole time. Like moving around or something.
Fred's a fidgeter.
Yes.
So we know how middle school went for him.
But yeah, and like depression and stuff. When I get like in that mood, I want to work out. That's my outlet. Mm-hmm. It could be drugs. It's not. I choose to go work out, kind of let it all out there. What would be your advice, I guess, to somebody that's having some mental issues? I guess to kind of find a better outlet to whatever they're using now to get over those issues. As far as, like I said, I could be doing worse things than working out all the time.
Yeah.
I get shit for working out all the time. I don't really work out all the time. I just post about it all the time.
Right. Same here, though. People are like, damn, you're always at the gym. I'm like, I'm really not. I haven't gone in like 2 weeks. Those are super old. No, but yeah, definitely. So I am depressed. I do have depression. I do have anxiety. I have PTSD. I have like all this other shit, right? But
because I've seen that in a lot of trainers, including myself.
Yes, it's honestly super common. People just choose not to talk about it. There's like a stigma, especially in the Hispanic culture. I told Marisa all the time, I was like, in the Hispanic culture, it's very hard for us to be like, hey, I'm not emotionally not feeling good. Or when it comes to even our kids now, it's become more common. They're getting stressed and anxious about like more things happening. So in our culture, it's always like, no, ese niño necesita una chinga, right? Like it's never like, oh, talk to him. Maybe there's something wrong. So for me, I never knew there was anything wrong with me until knowing now what anxiety and depression and all that stuff is. Now I think back to my childhood and I'm like, damn, I was fucked up for a long time. Like, holy shit. But first things first, obviously talk to somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody, a professional. It could be anybody, a friend, family, somebody in a group that you know. Some people do need more help than that. I'm going to admit, I admitted myself. I knew myself. I knew what I was capable of doing. So I just decided to just say, go. And I walked in there and I said, I'm here because I feel this way and I just want to be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people take medication. There's nothing wrong with that either. We all have to do what we need to do to help ourselves in a positive way. So I think that people just need to figure out what it is for them. Like you said, when I'm feeling like that, I need to go and work out. I need to exhaust myself, not just physically, but emotionally, to where I'm not sitting here just letting my gears grind and I think bullshit and I think that things that haven't even like happened or like happened like 20 years ago. And I'm just like, why? So whether it's reading, writing, biking, sex, I don't know. Find something that brings that back out in you. But like you said, right now, drugs and alcohol are like the thing for a lot of our generation. And it's awful because I look at people and on social media especially, people are like, oh, I'm here and I'm partying and I'm this and I feel like a lot of that time it's because they're unhappy and they're trying to fill that void by saying, look, I'm partying, I'm having a fantastic fucking life, and in reality we're not.
Oh God, so fucking depressed.
You know, so, and it's sad to see that we think that by showing social media and showing the world that we're partying, that we're showing them that we have a perfect life, and it's not where it's at, honestly. First off, we need to stop worrying what the fuck the world thinks. And if they know that we have money and if we don't and if none of that shit, who cares? Honestly, you need to worry about you. You need to find something that makes you happy, something that makes you whole. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes, you know, that's going to take a lot of trial and error. And don't think that the first thing that you pick up, that's what's going to be it for you. It might not. It might take you 10 things to finally figure out what is for you and what's going to fulfill you in every way.
Yeah,